LambdaGeneration.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the community show that travels through the internet to search for the juiciest community news to serve to you. So without further ado, let's get this party started. So, as you all may know, the Valve Index has recently launched on the Steam storefront for about $1,000, making it one of the more expensive VR options out on the market currently. That price tag is of course for a reason, because the Index appears to be a rather good option for people who would love to get really invested in the VR world. And with such a big project for Valve to wrap up, obviously comes a launch party. A lot of Valve employees were there, including Gabe Newell. He even stood up and spoke in front of all the developers for a moment. Whoa! Gabe spoke about what a milestone this is for the company and what the future might hold for Valve. Even speaking about maybe someday tackling the number 3, because of course he had to mention that. Now, in Gabe's own words, he said the following. Milestones aren't really the end of anything, they're really the beginning. Half-Life led to Half-Life 2, Source led to Source 2, he continues. So maybe someday, the number 2 will lead us to that shiny integer glow on a mountain someplace. We'll just have to see. As you can probably tell, there's definitely a reference to a third game there, maybe. But it doesn't have to be Half-Life 3 necessarily. I think he just refers to third parts in general, so that could also be Left 4 Dead 3 or Portal 3 or hell, maybe even Dota 3, looking at how Valve is on a roll with that franchise at the moment. I guess we'll see what happens. Congrats to Valve for launching the Index. I hope a lot of people will have a lot of fun with it. I've left an article from PC Games N that talks about this in the description below. While Breadman and his team are really busy with Entropy Zero 2, they have still found the time to bring out a pretty major update to the first Entropy Zero. This version 3 adds a whole bunch of new features and fixes a lot of things as well. These new additions include, amongst other things, new impact effects, a bunch of new achievements, the Sunstick from Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, an overhaul to the Rebel AI, new sounds for various weapons, and much more. The fixes include reduced health for the Zombines, classic zombies, fast zombies, and the final boss, and a whole lot of fixes to various maps. Now, if you haven't played the first Entropy Zero yet, then it may be time to do that now, because the second game is heavily being worked on right now. In fact, I have actually been given an early build of the game, and I can tell you that it plays very well, and that there is definitely something to look forward to here. The gunplay is pretty amazing. And while we're talking about Entropy Zero 2, we have also gotten some exclusive screenshots for you from the 4th chapter, which takes place in the Arctic. It's of course still very work in progress, but it's definitely getting there, and I'm getting all excited over here. If you want to know more about Entropy Zero version 3, I've left a link to the official Steam post in the description below. There you can also find a link to Breadman's official website on Entropy Zero 2. Black Mesa Opposing Forces, the Command & Conquer 3 mod that repaints the entire game with a Half-Life theme, has gotten some updates over the span of a few weeks. The mod's developer, Gneo, has shown off a whole bunch of screenshots in our Discord server. Which you should totally join, by the way. There's a link for that in the description below. In these screenshots, we can see some pretty awesome Black Mesa structures you can actually build in the game. There is even a little tram that you can see here. How adorable is this? It's very adorable. Let me hug the train. This all looks pretty impressive, and even though I still am not really that big of a fan of RTS games, I'd actually want to play it still just to see all this stuff in action. There are some more building screenshots on ModDB. I've put a link to their page in the description below. Oh, and join the Discord server. He posts on there a lot. Battlegrounds III, the Half-Life 2 mod that takes you to the battlefields of the 1700s to battle it out, is in early access right now. I said battle 3 times just now, whoa. The early access build launched on June 30th, and currently there are 4 official servers ready to join. 2 are in the US and the other 2 are in Europe. The developers will hop through the servers to come say hi and shoot you in the face. So if you got any feedback, you can try and find them and tell them directly. And then you can shoot them in the face too. The Battlegrounds 3 Early Access is now available on Steam, and a link for it is in the description below. Happy face shooting. Project Borealis is back in the news, but only briefly. They have actually released a new piece of the soundtrack called Holocrime, and it sounds a little bit like this. I think it sounds pretty nice. It actually reminds me of the Gonarch theme in the original Half-Life. It might be inspired by it a little bit. I mean, the artwork in the video does actually resemble a Zen-like environment, but I actually think this scene is still in the Arctic because of the icy wall in the background. I've left a link in the description below to the full soundtrack piece. Enjoy! Hey, remember the Neuroskilled Half-Life textures we covered a while back? Well, the project is back in the news because developer Lionel C has released a new pack that swaps the blurry textures from the suit battery and weapons to sexy new Neuro-upskilled versions of them. They look sharp, clean, and totally rad as heck, and adding them to your game will generally improve the look of these items. Not all the pickup models have been updated yet though, so there is still some work to be done. That's not the only thing this mod does though. Apparently there's also a fix in there that tackles an FOV issue that the game has with widescreen resolutions. So that's a nice little extra with your upgraded textures. I've left a link in the description to download this mod. Project Remap is a mod for the original Half-Life that takes its original maps and gives them a makeover. It takes a lot of inspiration from Black Mesa and the Half-Life mod called Half-Life Echoes that was released a little while ago. We covered it at some point. Some inspiration even comes from Valve directly, such as the reworked anomalous materials lobby seen in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. To be honest, I didn't even know that the Black Mesa environment in the Episode 2 G-Man sequence was the lobby. It looks so different. The mod is currently in development and updates will be posted on their official ModDB page, which is linked in the description below. I'm interested to see where this is going. You know who would also be interesting to see where they're going? You! Because I'm actually wondering if you're going to follow us on social media. They're covering my face right now and they're clickable in the description below as well. Don't forget to join our Discord server where we can continue the conversation. That is also linked below. I got my own YouTube channel too. It's called Glorious Rigby. I sometimes post videos there depending on if I have time or not, so I do recommend you go and check it out though. It's pretty good content. Pretty good content. Oh, and follow me on Twitter too, by the way. It's @Farlumi. That can be found in the description as well. And with that, I'm going to end episode 51 of All Things Lambda. Don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon to never miss another episode. Salutations, and take care.
Shit, seriously?